And moving on, Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoakwata has directed the immediate closure of two bridges crucial to economic activity between northern Ghana and the rest of the country. Engineers say the Buipe and Yapei bridges are so weak they could collapse anytime soon. Following a routine inspection on Wednesday, the Roads Minister said repair works must not delay any further, justifying the closure of the major bridges. The bridges were constructed some many years ago, but have received minor maintenance works. So what does the closure mean for the people of Yapei and Buipe, and for you watching us elsewhere in the country? My colleague Justice Bedu has traveled on both bridges on a number of occasions and joins us now to discuss this. Good morning, Justice. Welcome.
Good morning, Daniel.
So I understand you just used the road a few days ago. Yeah,
it tells you how crucial this particular road is in terms of linking the southern part of the country to the northern part. The distance between Kumasi, so let's take Kumasi and Tamale for example, it's about 362 kilometers, and this part, which is where the Buipe bridge is. Buipe is a town that's actually been built around the fact that it borders the Bronga-Hafu region and then the northern region.
So we are going up the Kumasi.
Yes. So assuming you are heading up from Kumasi, you just cross Kintampo, and just about 100 kilometers you are in Buipe. Now, once you are in Buipe, the bridge, which is the bridge that is over the Black Volta, is so crucial because at that point, that is the only entry point from the Bonga-Hafu region and then the northern region. The other option, so here you have Buipe. So, I mean, trade activities in this town, people who are crossing and coming down, all depend on this very, very important bridge. The other option would have been to go through the Eastern Corridor Road, which is now in a very, very deplorable
Now, before
condition.
we even go to the other options, I understand Yapei is just up the road.
Yes, so Yapei is just about 60 kilometers away from Buipe as well. So if you go further up, Yapei is there as well. That one is the bridge that goes on the White Water. And so Buipe, the Buipe bridge goes over the Black Water, and then the Yapei bridge goes over the White Water. Both of them have similar instances where a lot of trade activities in the town are built around the fact that people come through there, and then sometimes because of the busy nature of the bridge and the toll booths that are there, people sell. Fishermen who fish on the river bring their fish, their catch.
But it's not just for the local people. There's also an international element.
It's not just for the local people. Yes. So freight stuff, things that are being carried from the Tema port, the Takoradi port, and going over to countries like Burkina Faso, going over to countries like Niger, and even as far as Mali, do go through this bridge because you know these are landlocked countries and use mainly the Tema and Takoradi port in getting their stuff like cars and all other things that they've been imported up there. And so it's essentially the entire part of northern Ghana that relies heavily on these two bridges. So you talk about places like the Upper East region, Boko, Tamale itself, Yendi, Bimbila. All of these towns, which are major boom towns, depend on this bridge.
Okay, so let's look at the entire picture now. I want to go to the northern part of Ghana from Kumasi, from Takoradi, from Accra. I can't use the Buipe bridge or the Yapei bridge. Yeah. Where do I go?
So if you were going from Kumasi, there are two options aside this. You'd either have to go through Yeji. You have to go, so you go from Kumasi, you go eastward through Yeji, and then have to use the pontoon and then get onto the Eastern Corridor Road, and then you move up towards Wulensi, Bimbila, Yendi, then you can then come back to Tamale.
But that's which regions does the Eastern Corridor Road pass through?
So the Eastern Corridor Road moves through the Volta region, it goes up then through the Bronga-Hafu, it goes to the northern region and then to Upper East, then you come off, you can then go up to Burkina Faso from there.
So let's see the entire country there on the map, so we can, for a moment, try and appreciate what you're telling us.
Yes, so this road is so crucial. And like I said, assuming you
that's Yapei right up there.
That's Yapei somewhere here.
Yeah.
If so now these two are blocked, the only option is to go through the Wa route, which then means you have to go through Bole, Bamboy. So assuming you are coming to Tamale from Kumasi, you then have to do like a U-turn, which is like 2 times the journey time that you'd ordinarily use if you were going to use the Yapei and then Buipe bridges. And you think about people in this part of Ghana who mainly are not really well-to-do in terms of money, and you are going to double their travel time.
What about the quality of the roads on the alternate route?
The Bole Bamboy route is, I mean, per Ghanaian standards, is not a bad road.
I like the way you said Ghanaian standards.
It's not a bad road. I mean, it's like any normal road. Only that it is not asphalt. It's not an asphalted road, and so it's chippings that are on, and so you wouldn't drive as fast as you would, assuming you were using the Buipe, the one that goes through Buipe. What usually tends to happen, the last time the road was closed when we actually were there, was they would usually close it in the morning. At 6, and then when the people can work, the guys who are working on it can work, and then they open it back at 6 p.m. In fact, the guy when I spoke with the people, the engineers who were working on it at the time, they told me that this bridge is nearly 50 years old, and like you said, hasn't seen any major repair. It really needs a major overhaul. Yeah. What we did the last time, which is about 7 months ago, was just try to put both and knots together.
Okay, so Justice, hold on for a minute. We've been joined on the line by the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Anthony Abai-Fakabo, to explain to us a bit of the rationale behind the closing of the bridges. Honourable, thank you very much for your time. When will the bridges be closed, and why is it so important for them to be closed?
Thank you very much. Indeed, the bridge has been closed under the directive of the Minister from today. Indeed, there was some temporary closure, but yesterday a team led by the Minister and the technical man had another field visit and physical assessment of the state of the bridges, and the Minister couldn't help than to say that it will be proper that we safeguard lives and property than to allow for this temporary closure to lead to a major disaster. And so the bridge, as we speak, has been shut down for emergency work to proceed.
And how long will the emergency work take?
Concrete will take time to cure and set and all of that. So we're giving ourselves a maximum of 4 weeks, by which time the works would have been done and these bridges will be opened to road users.
So is this work budgeted for, or it's just emergency work?
These are emergency works, but the government has been thinking through replacing the bridge, because this is a bridge that was constructed many years ago. I understand it's about 54 years old. Clearly, it has outlived its strength and needs a brand new bridge. It's so important because of the fact that this is the bridge that connects the north with the south and the other Sahelian countries. And so it's so critical that we take a second look. And I'm very much aware that through the efforts of the Minister and the Vice President and the Finance Minister, government is almost close to securing funding for the replacement of these bridges, including the Daboya Bridge, which will be an auxiliary bridge to support any time we have to close the Yapei and Buipe.
Okay, so you're also working on alternate routes. Honourable, please, for the sake of emphasis, let us know the exact amount of time that traders will be unable to use this road.
4 weeks.
4 weeks?
4 weeks, yes. In 4 weeks, the works would have been completed.
Are there alternative routes that are closer to, because at the moment, what we are dealing with are people having to pass through Yeji using the Eastern Corridor and people having to pass through Wa to Tamale. Do you have any other alternate routes for these 4 weeks?
And indeed, there are, as far as the technical advice we have, is that there are three major alternative routes for people to use. If you take the Eastern Corridor from Accra, Tema, Ahoy, Jasikai, Nkwanta, Otidamanko, Bimbila, Yendi, and then to Tamale. That's on the eastern corridor route. On the central corridor, you're from Accra, Kumasi, Mampong, Ejura, Atebubu, Yeji, crossing the ferry, Makango, Salaga to Tamale. Or Kintampo, Techimang, Nkwanza, Ejura, Atebubu, Yeji, Makango to Salaga. And then the last one, which is the western corridor, is Kumasi, Techimang, Wenchi, Amboy, Sola, Wa, Hamele. And this is a very important, we emphasize, especially for those big trucks that, fly through the Sahelian regions, Mali, Niger, will have to come through the western corridor. That will be the best alternative route until these works are completed.
Now, you just referred to the best alternative routes being the one going from Ejura, Amanting, Atebubu, Prime, Sawaba, Yeji to Tamale.
Yes.
Okay, what is the state of this road?
Indeed, let me also add that currently works are going on to improve the road condition of these alternative routes. These routes, contracts were issued, but they were stalled for lack of finances. The Minister has moved very quickly to ensure that the contractors are back on the site to improve the road so that commuters can have some convenience.
But sir, the road that it's serving as an alternate route has been closed down as at now. This is going to be for the next 4 weeks. So by when will this road be more trouble for some of the sizes of the cars that would normally be using the Yapei and Buipe bridges?
These alternative routes are in good condition. Currently, as I speak, my colleague, Deputy Minister, is currently on a tour inspecting these alternative routes and to make sure that the contractors are working feverishly to ensure that they improve the condition.
Sir, your colleague is touring to ensure if they are more trouble. Do we know for a fact if they are in good condition for the cars to use?
They are in a fair condition. They are in a fairly good condition. But we just want to be sure that we have physical presence to make sure that if there are other parts of those roads that needs to be worked on, all that can be added to the scope of the contractors will have to do.
Thank you very much, the Honourable Anthony Yapei for Cabo. He is the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways. Now, we've been joined on the line by a resident of Yapei, Ibrahim Mahafuzu Sapo, who will tell us how the people of that community will be affected by the closure of the bridge. Now, a small economy has been built around the Yapei bridge. As you can see, it's a trunk road with a lot of traffic on it. Ibrahim, thank you very much for your time. Currently, how do you find the state of the bridge now?
The bridge is in a deplorable state, and it actually needs maintenance.
So
however, the total closure of the bridge is having an impact on the residents of Yapei and Buipe. With Yapei, our district capital is at Buipe, and that is where most of the administrative structures are. So if you want to access Buipe presently, it is going to be a major problem. Again, Mondays are always Buipe market days. Again, Mondays are Buipe market days.
Right.
So with Monday, we have a lot of vehicular traffic on the main trunk road, that is between Tamale and Buipe. So somebody who wants to access the Buipe market will find it very difficult to do. It therefore means that economic activities are going to be put to stop until the maintenance work is completed. And this will adversely affect the finances of the people of Central Gonja and Yapei and Buipe in particular.
But you see, Ibrahim, the cars that are using this road are in danger. You are the one who is saying that the bridge is in a deplorable state. Isn't it better that we close it down temporarily to fix it once and for all?
We know that most often last May there was a closure of the bridge, temporal closure. For a particular time, vehicular traffic was allowed to pass on the road. I think that should have been the best alternative because considering the distance between Yapei and Buipe, it is not too far. And now people cannot access these communities. Meanwhile, our economic activities are interrelated. It is therefore going to put a lot of financial burden on the people of Central Gonja. Somebody going to Tamale, assuming he moves from Buipe, he has to go through Bole and then through to the eastern central corridor, that is through Atibebu, then Yeji, then cross with a ferry to Tamale. You see the impact it will have on that person. So no alternative arrangement have been made for the people of Central Gonja. Perhaps nationally, alternative routes have been provided. But for the people of Central Gonja, there is no any such arrangement for the people around these two bridges who will have to access either Tamale or Buipe or even southwards to Kintampo and to Accra.
Right. Ibrahim, we hear your concerns. Thank you very much for sharing them with us. Let me come back to the studio and speak a bit with Justice. Now, Justice, two concerns have been raised, but let's talk about what the Deputy Roads Minister was saying. He was showing us an alternative route. Can you indicate that?
Which is this one. So if you come down a bit, Kumasi is just here, and okay, so this is Kumasi,
right? And
traditionally you would go through here, and this journey from Kumasi to Tamale using this route would ordinarily take you about 5 hours. But
well, the map says 6.5, so
yes, so
maybe 5 by your driving.
Yes, five depending well. But if you are going to now have to use this Ejura route,
okay,
Ejura to Yeji itself has a very pretty, again, per Ghanaian standards, good road. But then you get to Ejura and you meet the Volta River,
okay,
where you would have to now wait because you'd have to cross with the ferry. The ferry moves at certain times of the day. And so if it moves at 6 and you come at 7, you would have to wait till 7 probably in the evening or 3 p.m. in the evening. But in which case, you are now going to have to spend about 10 more hours waiting.
Okay. And
that's when you've crossed. And
will the ferry be able to carry
the ferry does a lot of carrying nearly everything across the river. But then the problem now also continues after you've crossed. The road from here through Wolensi, going through Bimbila, Salaga, back to Tamale is also in a very, very deplorable state. And it connects through to the Eastern Corridor Road, part of which are now immotorable actually. I think we should stress that as well.
Okay. Well, the major alternate that the Honourable Deputy Minister indicated is the one we are speaking of.
Yes, but I think drivers would rather use the Bole Bamboy route, because on that route you have all of it tied.
Okay, so I can see on the left, I can see Bole Sapa thing around where Bui National Park has been indicated.
Yes, and so you move from here, you go through Techiman is where you break away, and then you go through Wenchi, come to Bamboy, Bole, you go to Sola, then you come back onto the Damongo route, and then you come back to join at a town called Fufuso Junction.
Fufuso.
Yes.
So you use the Fufuso Solar route.
But again, with Yapei now closed, you can't use here. That's the problem. You can't.
Does Fufuso Solar pass through Yapei?
No. Fufuso Solar is on this road. Fufuso Solar is somewhere here, just before Yapei. So again, that's a problem. You can't come back here. So what I was saying was that so this is Solar. And between Sola and Fufuso Junction is a solid road.
It was commissioned by the president.
Yes, which is tarred. Very, very good road. So where the Yapei bridge working, then you can use this and then come to Tamale in good condition. But with Yapei closed now, you have to go to Wa, go to Hamile, come through Tumu, come through Bogatanga. That's like hell.
What a geography lesson there, Justice Bedu. Thank you very much for showing us. So if you're a driver, you're going to use the routes, you'd probably have a fair idea what to do. Now,